So in last week's video, I said I was going to do a behind the scenes look at an event that I was shooting. I was going to take you guys with me and show you how it is that I document events. But like any good story, this plan got interrupted. You see, while I was working the event, I got a phone call from a college buddy of mine named Andrew Cruz. He calls me up because he wants me to film his wedding later this year. Started talking details and making plans, and then that conversation turned into catching up on life. It had been a while since we'd seen each other, and we ended up talking about what our weekend plans were. And he tells me that he's flying all the way from Colorado to Nashville, Tennessee to hang out with some other college buddies of ours, Zachary and Evan. And as I'm listening to him talk about these plans, I ask myself, I wonder how far away Nashville is from Carlinville. So by the end of the phone call, I had adapted my weekend plans to fit in a 5.5 hour trip to Nashville, Tennessee to hang out with some old friends. It was an adventure for me just because I had never been to Nashville before. It was a brand new city for me to explore. But this story that I'm telling you guys isn't like a life and death situation. You know, nobody was ever in danger. We didn't save anybody's life. It wasn't this big, huge spectacle that you would see in a movie theater, but these 3 days represented something very important to me because it was one of those moments where my beliefs and values matched up with my behavior. What do I mean by that? So often in life, we proclaim our intentions and these things that we hold to be true, but our actions say otherwise. I know for me, I have told people, hey, I want to keep our friendship going. Our friendship shouldn't just stay in our childhood. Our friendship shouldn't just stay in college. We should be lifelong friends. We should keep this going, but my actions would say otherwise. As I've grown older, I've come to appreciate long-term friendships that stick with you over the years. I don't have a whole lot of long-term friendships in my life anymore just because I've moved around a lot. And I know that my friends from college are some of the best opportunities I have for those long-term friendships. When I first graduated college in 2015, I regularly saw my college friends at each other's weddings. You know, we're young and this is the time period when our friends are getting married. So these weddings were basically college reunions. That would be the main motivation, honestly, for me to go to a wedding, is because I knew who was going to be there. But eventually this season of wedding is going to stop. And unless we make plans like we did this past weekend to meet up and hang out, these wedding reunions are gonna stop. We're not gonna see each other anymore. And then it's gonna turn into just seeing each other at one another's funerals. That's really dark and depressing and dramatic, but that's the reality. I mean, there's no other set time to see each other other than those two events. I love social media and FaceTiming as much as the next guy, but they're not strong enough to support a long distance friendship. They're accessories, they're helpful. What really makes a long distance friendship happen is by meeting up with one another and making new memories, not just FaceTiming once in a while, saying what's going on in your life and talking about days gone by. That gets a little old after a while. You gotta meet up, you gotta write new chapters in your friendship. You can't just repeat the old ones. Whenever I dream about the future, I picture me and all of my college friends hanging out. We're married, we bring our spouses and our kids along, and we go on vacations together, or we go to our college's homecoming and, you know, make these new memories with these new people that we bring into our lives. And who's calling me from Oklahoma City? Hi.
Hi, this is Lisa. I'm making a final attempt to reach you regarding your newly issued student loan pre-qualification.
I love it when my show has callers coming in. It really shows that you people care. As we get older, our responsibilities are only going to increase. We're going to get spouses, we're going to get kids, we're going to have careers and more bills to pay and a life and a purpose that we're all living on our own. But there's no reason why we can't keep these long distance friendships together and support us on our own individual journeys. My friends in college were pivotal to me during that time period in my life as I figured out myself and what I wanted to do, and I want to keep those guys by my side as I'm living that calling out. They helped me discover what it is that I want to do with my life, and I want to keep them along with me on this journey. Now, it's hard when you have all these increased responsibilities, but if you truly value something, you will make the time for it. And look, I could have said, hey, I'm too busy to hang out this weekend, sorry. I had a wedding film to edit. But you want to know what I did? I drug my iMac from my apartment, put it in my truck, and I drove it to Tennessee with me, and I just worked on it before my friends woke up. It took more effort. I couldn't sleep in on this mini vacation I gave myself, but I had those two things that I wanted to do, and I was able to make them both happen by creating the time for them. All this to say, long-term friendships are possible. You just have to make the intentional effort to keep them going.